Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the BSE Limited Q1 FY23 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anand Sethuraman, Head Investor Relations, BSE. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Anand from BSE Investor Relations. Welcome to our earnings call to discuss Q1 FY 2023 results. Joining us today on this earnings call is BSE's leadership team, consisting of Mr. Nayan Mehta, the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Neeraj Kulshrestha, Chief Regulatory Officer, Mr. Sameer Patil, Chief Business Officer, Mr. Girish Joshi, Chief Trading Operations and Uplisting Sales, and Mr. Percy Tavaria, Chief Information Officer. Do note that this conference is being recorded and a transcript of this call will be made available on the BSE website. Before we get started, I would like to take this opportunity to remind you that our remarks today will include forward-looking statements. Actual results may differ materially from those contemplated by these forward-looking statements. Any forward-looking statements that we make today on this call are based on assumptions as of today, and BSE assumes no obligation to update these statements as a result of new information or future results. I now request Mr. Nayan Mehta, the Chief Financial Officer of BSE, to give a brief overview of the company's financial and business performance. Do note that the session will conclude with a Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining the call today. I hope all of you and your loved ones are safe and keeping well. Before I start with the update, I am glad to say that BSE continued to function normally without any interruptions or glitches and has been able to improve its financial performance. I am happy to inform you that despite the downturn in market, BSE Group delivered a stable financial performance with total revenues of 198 crores for Q1 FY23, a growth of 6.4% as compared to corresponding quarter last year. I will start with the broad financial results for the quarter ended 30th June 2022. BSE's operational revenues have grown by 19% to rupees 187 crores from rupees 157 crores in the corresponding quarter previous year. BSE's net profit attributable to shareholders of the company stands at 44 crores rupees as compared to rupees 53.4 crores in the corresponding quarter previous year. The decline is as a result of fall in investment income and slowdown in transaction-based income. I would now share some of the key financial numbers on the consolidated basis for the quarter ended June 30th, 2022 as compared to corresponding quarter previous year. The clearing and settlement operational revenues increased by 98% to rupees 17.1 crores from rupees 8.63 crores. The treasury income from the clearing and settlement funds have increased by 85% to 18.7 crores from rupees 10.2 crores. The listing related income increased by 15% to rupees 57.7 crores from rupees 50.1 crores. Book building fees increased by 62% to rupees 13.7 crores from rupees 8.5 crores. The operating EBITDA has increased to rupees 49.8 crores from 41.3 crores, with operating EBITDA margin increasing to 27% from 26%. The net profit margin stands at 20%. On the business side, let me start by covering our primary market segment. Funds raised by India Incorporated continues to be buoyant, and BSE platforms continue to remain the preferred choice by Indian companies to raise capital. The BSE bond platform has enabled issuers to raise rupees 3.1 lakh crores through issue of bonds, commercial papers, municipal bonds, investment ITs, invitees, etc. You may note that BSE had raised its listing fees with effect from 1st April 2022, which has resulted in slight uptick in the listing-related income for the quarter. The total number of investors registered with BSE now stands at over 11 crores. Let me now update you on BSE SME segment. I am happy to inform you that BSE has completed 10 years of operationalizing India's first SME exchange. BSE endeavors to support the SMEs and the startups in India and has seen its listing 10 companies on its SME platform during the quarter ending 30th June 2022, taking the total number of companies on SME platform to 377 and 14 on startups platform. These 377 SMEs have raised 4,011 crores rupees and 14 startups raised 61 crore rupees via BSE platform with a market value of rupees 47,929 crores and rupees 588 crores respectively as on June 30th, 2022. BSE's market share in SME segment stands at 60%. FY 2022 was the year in which capital markets performed better than most other industries. It is in this context of such adjusted expectations that BSE's first quarter may seem unspectacular, and yet it provided business growth well above the long-term mean. Facing the challenges of the volatile market environment, BSE's performance in trading segment was muted, but mutual fund and insurance segments demonstrated strong growth. For the quarter ended June 30, 2022, BSE's average daily turnover in equity segment stands at rupees 4,057 crores. In the equity derivative segment, the average daily turnover stands at rupees 1.2 lakh crores. In the currency derivative segment, the average daily turnover increased by 4% to rupees 24,567 crores as compared to corresponding quarter last year. For electronic gold receipts, BSE continues to engage with its regulator, SEBI, for the final regulatory approval as a new segment, which will enable the trading of spot gold in India. We are confident that we'll be able to launch it in this financial year, subject to requisite approvals. Our business teams are reaching out to market participants, including banks, vaults, wholesalers, retailers, importers, exporters, etc., who would participate in this ecosystem. I shall now discuss our mutual fund distribution platform. BSE Star MF, the India's largest mutual fund distribution platform, continues to grow at a remarkable pace, with the total number of transactions growing by 68% to reach 5.9 crore transactions during the quarter from 3.5 crore transactions in the same period last year. BSE Star MF platform continues to scale new peaks in terms of single-day transactions, with the platform processing a high of 30.46 lakh transactions on 11 July 2022, outdoing its previous best single-day record of 30.11 lakh transactions. I shall cover developments at our subsidiary companies now. BSE promoted International Exchange at GIFT City, Gandhinagar, India INX, has been growing exponentially ever since it commenced trading activities on 16 January 2017. to BSE Technologies, a wholly owned subsidiary of BSE, for setting up Know Your Client Registration Agency, KYC KRA, and a trade receivable discounting system, TREDS, platform. The final approval is awaited. There is no additional capital infusion required from BSE for these businesses. With these updates, I now hand over the call to Anand.
Thank you so much, sir, for these updates. With this overview, let me now once again welcome you all and invite you all to participate in the Q&A session. Thank you so much. Over to you, Aman.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can just unmute.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to limit their question to 2 per participant. If time permits, you may join the queue for any follow-ups. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have the first question from the line of Santosh Kumar Keshri from Keshri Wealth. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. I have 2 questions. One is about the increase in other expenses that we have seen from 40 crore of quarter one 2021, 21-22 to 50 crore now. And it's a decrease from quarter 4 of 2022, but year on year it's an increase of almost 25%. So that's my first question. What could be the reason behind it? Are you investing in technology and that is being expensed out, or there is something more here?
Yeah. So the increase which you see in our other expenses increased from 40 crores to 50 crores from June 21 quarter to June 22 quarter. One of the main reasons for the increase is the clearinghouse expenses which BSE has to pay to NSE clearing. After interoperability, these clearinghouse expenses have been applicable to both the exchanges, depending on the transactions which are settled at the other clearing corporation. So BSE's clearinghouse expenses were beg your pardon, more or less they are same. I just missed it out here. It's basically that the expenses contribution to core SGF. Last quarter in June 21, the contribution to core SGF was nil, and against that we have got 2.26 crores contribution in the current quarter. Last year, because of COVID, we had provided a lot of receivables, and based on the recovery, we had to reverse those receivables. So in June 21 quarter, there was a reversal of recovery. There was a reversal of the provisions made to the extent of 4.65 crores, and that got significantly significantly offset in the current quarter. And the current quarter, our provision is just negative 1.38 crores based on the because of the reversal of the excess provisions made in earlier quarters. So what happens is that our provisions are required to be made on expected credit loss basis, which is a standard process based on the days, based on the number of days delay in receiving our dues. And because of COVID, in the last 2 years, there were occasions when there was some delay in receiving our dues, but we got back the dues, and that's why the provisions which we had made earlier had to be reversed. These are the main 2 reasons due to which our increase has been, increase is being noticed. So, okay, next question.
Okay, so just one thing here. So the reversal of expense in quarter 1 of 2022 should be leading to reduction of the expense rather than increase there, right? Because as you were saying, there was a provision made earlier. Now that provision is getting reversed.
Yeah.
So should not that be a reason for decrease in expense rather than an increase?
Just one thing. No, it's like this, that last time our reversal was much higher. It was 4.6 crores, right? So that's why our total expenses were lower to that extent. And this time, the reversal is lower by 3 crores. So that's the reason the 3 crores increase is coming on account of the provisional factor.
Okay, sir. Got it. That means the reversal was in the last year, that is FY21-22, June 21. Okay,
Right.
got it. Yeah. And second question is, it's regarding the investment income, which is now is 6 crore 1 lakh compared to 22 crore of June 22 quarter. So does it mean that there is a MTM? So if that is so, then what is the amount of MTM that is recorded in this quarter?
So this is obviously MTM, and what has happened is that in the earlier years, when the yields were actually stagnant and going down, at that time obviously we had we had got the MTM benefit in our favor, and in this current quarter there was a certain two policy announcement followed by another monetary policy, because of which the entire market was taken by surprise. And you would notice that most of the companies who have got big treasuries have got hurt in this process. So that's why our overall mark-to-market difference was 17 crores on a quarter-on-quarter basis and also on a year-on-year basis. And for the actual M2M was about, for the quarter was about 8.8 crores.
Okay. Well, sir, thank you so much. I'm done.
Thank you. A reminder to our participants, please press star and 1 if you wish to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Pranav Thakkar as an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yeah.
My question is related to Star MF. The presentation which we have seen in previous financial results. So request that you try to make it a little bit more explanatory in terms where exactly it is going, and with reference to the previous discussions that management is actively looking for divestment of some of the stake in Star MF, and also the divestment with reference to the recent news where LIC has shown interest to buy some stake in ICC and also INX. So if you can share views and what are updates there.
As far as your mutual fund thing goes, our presentation is more or less the same which we have been giving all throughout. So we'll have to just let us know what is your expectation, which is different from what we have been providing till date. As far as the LIC investment in India, ICC and INX goes, so obviously that is subject to approval from regulatory authorities, and so once that approval comes through, obviously appropriate action will be taken. Yeah, as far as the other question regarding news item. But as far as we are concerned, it is a total, it is speculative as on date, and we are not aware of any formal proposal or any proposal anywhere.
Okay. Because in that case, if that happens, there could be altogether a different holding. So I was just wondering how it works in favor of BSE.
It's anybody's guess, right? We cannot comment on that.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to our participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Prayesh Jain from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Sorry I joined in a bit late, but if you can comment on, you have launched the electricity, the power exchange. So how do you see the things ramping up there? That would be my first question. And secondly, on the gold EGR receipt, what's the status? When do you see the launch of that product happening?
Yeah. So, in my speech, I had already informed that the power exchange has been launched on 6th of July 2022, and we have started with the contingency market segments, intraday, day-ahead contingency. Where we are pleased with the and obviously we have been very happy with how the market has been, how we have been able to get the market share. We have got about 20% market share in that contingency market, with a total trading of about 235 million units in the last 1 month. So now, in the last week of July, we also launched day-ahead market segment, real-time market segment, and green day-ahead market. So that is also launched. So now we are in good stead there, and we wait and see how this business unfolds for us. And I'll request Mr. Samir Patil to comment on the EGR point when they will be launched and about it.
So we have hello, this is Samir Patil here. We have applied to SEBI. We got the in-principle approvals. We have already got a technology up and running for it, and we await final approval from SEBI to launch the EGR as a segment.
Prayesh, is the question answered?
Hello. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Just on that electricity futures question again. So when we did some 400 million plus units last month, what is the revenue that we would have won?
So it's too early. So yeah, obviously it's too early right now. Whatever is being charged is being given as discount currently as a promotional discount. So we will see what basis we can start and when we can start charging, when they can start charging.
Okay. And actually, I think even this night you would have addressed in the opening remarks, but what is the timeline for the new CEO?
We can't comment on that. That obviously. So I'm the regulatory officer, so we cannot really comment on that. This is essentially, these decisions are, there's a process which goes on as far as all this is concerned. So as and when the announcement is there, I'm sure it will be very widely reported.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Devesh Agarwal from IIFL Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. So continuing with what Prayesh was asking, where exactly are we in the process of appointing the new CEO and MD?
That's our CRO just informed that it is in the process, and obviously we wouldn't be aware as to when things will.
Yeah, and what in this process, as you must be already aware, there is detailed media announcements, etc., which are done. So everything as per requirements of SEBI will take place. And as and when it is announced, it will be very widely reported. Please don't do. See, as you must also understand that as an exchange, this is we function very stably, and which is what will be reflected, in general. So these things will happen, and let's not be worried about this kind of specific things.
Okay, sir. Sir, talking about the realizations, I see that in the non-exclusive equity segment, there has been some decline in the realization. Why is that so?
You are talking of equity segment, Devesh?
Equity non-exclusive, sir.
Comment.
So there is one more thing. So we are calculating this the direct charges based on the non-exclusive segment. But in the last quarter, there was some money which had come to us under the trading income towards offer to buy, and that was more than 1 crore rupees, which has not recurred in the current quarter.
Sorry, sir. What was this? Rupees 1 crore?
There is an offer to buy segment which we have, offer to buy. And in this offer to buy segment, what happens is that we do get transaction charges for the amount of transactions which are happening in that transaction. So that has not repeated in the current quarter, and it is generally erratic. It is not regular.
Okay. So this 1 crore we had received in 4Q FY22.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, even on the mutual fund side, if we see, despite having higher volumes, our revenues are flat on a QOQ basis, again implying that there is a decline in realization. Is there any change in the agreements with AMCs?
No, there is no change in agreement with AMCs. There has been a decline in realization because, as you are aware, and as we have spoken in earlier discussions also, that we have a graded structure. Yeah, are we through? Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So as we had been speaking in earlier calls also, that as our volumes increase, the realization would marginally go down, and that is what has happened in the current quarter also. So that is a part of the process. So I admit that is something which has happened in this quarter also.
Okay, understood. So the realizations are expected to further decline with the increase in volumes.
They will go up to a particular. They will tend to go to a particular level when we achieve a baseline type of final effect. So, but then okay, means we probably would tend towards 3. Right now we are at 3.05 for this quarter.
Okay. Any numbers that you can share on the what would be the floor?
As I told you that our revenue realization is 3 rupees 5 paisa for this quarter.
Okay, fine. And sir, on the cost, again, we see there is a sharp increase on the computer technology cost. So, is there any one-offs, or this would be the new run rate that we should assume?
And technology cost, what you have seen as increase would more or less be the same. If our CIO is there, would you like to comment on this, Percy? Okay, anyway, so so it's like this, that the cost is more or less expected to be same because we have got the AMC's cost have increased. We have set up some new lease lines for the members. So and obviously some capital expenditure is also happening, which is resulting in corresponding operational expenses. Let me see. That's what. Yeah. So yeah.
And sir, if we see this, the minority shareholders' interest, we see that the losses have been kind of continuously increasing from 1.5 crore to 4 crores. So are these pertaining to GIFT City operations, or these are something else?
This is to do with our other agricultural market, then BASL, BSc Administration, then we have got IBIX, BSc IBIX. So in all these places, we are actually now increasing our operations across board in all these companies. So we have recruited a CEO in BSc IBIX also. In BSc Agriculture markets also, the operations are being totally now moving at a fast pace. So that's the reason why you are seeing this type of incremental minority in expenses increase.
Okay, sir. And so last one, in security services, we see these other securities revenues have increased by almost 60% to 25 crore. Again, it's a very strong growth that we are seeing. So what has been driving this, and is it sustainable?
Just come again, Devesh, where are we in this one?
Within security services, you have a breakup where you give revenues for other securities revenue. That has gone up by 60% to 25 crore.
Yeah. So here, what happens, that there's a part of the technical cost, our technology cost, is towards the infrastructure which you provide to our members, trading members, lease lines, and all those things, as well as certain equipment sometimes. And these costs are recovered as other operational recovery, and they are accounted in the other security services because they are a part of our core business income. So that is one of the main reasons why our income has actually increased. So there will be a corresponding increase in our technology cost also.
Okay. And this is a one time, or this will be?
So both will continue parallelly, Devesh. The technology cost also will stay at little elevated level, and the security services income will also remain at elevated level.
Understood. Perfect. That is all, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Chandra from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead. Also, participants are requested to limit your question to 2 per participant. Thank you. Mr. Chandra, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. My simple question is that we have a lot of initiatives which are at initial phase, okay, and in terms of the expenses that we incur at the console level, which is around 137 crores. If you can provide some sense out of that, how much would be pertaining to the newer initiatives versus the old traditional business. So that is one. And also in terms of our newer initiatives, which ones you see to generate revenue in the next 1 year?
As for the way we work is mostly that unless we have got some new companies which are separately providing their setting up their balance sheets and P&L, all other initiatives which BSE works on, that get absorbed in the normal cost. So means generally what happens is that whenever we are doing newer initiatives, means our existing teams only is generally working on those new projects. As such, we don't have any breakup of the those type of costs. So they generally get absorbed in our total costing. The major new initiative, the major thing which is, and otherwise the rest all is reflected in the minority interest. So that gives a pretty good idea on the position of other losses which we are incurring.
Okay. So I was referring to more towards the initiatives which are now 2 or 3 years old, especially on the commodity side. So we have started, but we have not able to gain any significant share. Especially, the share has declined to a very small number. And also in terms of the market share in derivatives, we gained initially we gained some fraction there, but again, despite spending on LES and other initiatives, the market share has again come down. So in terms of the accountability of those spends, whether they are generating revenue or not, how you are judging it internally to initiate spends on these new areas. So what is the internal mechanism? So just want to understand that.
Yeah, hi. So as far as the spend is concerned, they are not significant spend. And looking at two segments, the equity derivatives and the commodities. Commodities just launched 3 years back, and the idea is to keep on launching new products, as you never know what would be successful and what would be the flagship contract for the exchange. But newer initiatives, newer contracts, and the idea is to get the right kind of market participants, stakeholders to come on the exchange platform and to create some serious amount of liquidity. Eventually, revenues will be charged as and when there will be a serious amount of liquidity. But just to remind you, we started 3 years back, but 2.5 years was due to the COVID. There was restricted movements of not only the teams but also the participants across the nation. So that also has to be counted. Second, as far as derivatives are concerned, yes, we had some market share, but as you know, this is also we are the catch-up game, and the market also has to support a bit. We've seen the last quarter how the markets have performed. So yes, but nevertheless, this quarter onwards we see some growth there as well.
Yeah, and also the transaction charges last year, it was mostly supported by the special rate. There was a huge growth in that, which is now coming off. So how do we see that? And I know that it's not in your control, but that is a significant risk to the transaction charges, because in a market which is not doing well, there's a risk of this coming off. So how do you account for that? And also in terms of the BSE Star MF, as I said, that the realizations will actually fall off with the increase in volumes. So, what kind of arrangement we have with the mutual funds? So, and in terms of the slabs, if you can give some more color on how the slabs function there.
So, your first question on this revenue getting affected by decrease in turnover in the exclusive segment. Yeah, it is a fact. This is our business. So in this business, the characteristic of this business is that because we charge significantly higher transaction charges in the exclusive segment. So if there is a decrease in turnover in that segment, and which has decreased because when the markets are doing good, the volume increases in that segment more than proportionately, and when the markets are not doing so good, they also tend to decrease. This is a volatile segment for us, and to that extent, we are susceptible to volatility in our transaction charges income. The second point which you were saying, that was about mutual fund transactions. Mutual fund transaction charges. As we increase our total transaction charges, what happens is that the total amount which we recover from the AMCs, they are subject to reduction on a graded basis. So that's why as our transactions go up, the average realizations tend to fall. So last quarter it was 3.17 and this time it is 3.05. The thing is that it cannot go on forever. At some point of time it will tend to plateau down, and that would probably be somewhere between it will be somewhere less than 3 definitely, but it will not go down like this forever. The way we see it is like this, that we have to continue to grow the transactions in mutual fund segment, and that is what is going to deliver the expectations of our stakeholders.
So referring to when we started with 7 rupees, if I'm not wrong.
Chandra, there is an airy disturbance in the line. I request you to please move a little away from the line.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible now.
Yeah. So what I was referring to is that in Star MF we started with 7 rupees realization and we went down to 3 rupees, and every time there is an increasing volume, we see drop in realization. So what I mean is that whether the contract with the mutual funds is on a yearly basis or every quarter, like we sit and like negotiate on the rates?
No, there is no negotiation on rates. The rates have not changed after negotiation with them. And comparing the current rates with 7 rupees is not actually correct, because the rates which were set earlier were prior to negotiation, and those were the basis for which the negotiation started. So when we sit on negotiation table, we cannot start with a low figure. So we had to start charging them something which is beyond what they are willing to pay, and then only we arrive at something. Then we can arrive at a figure which the other party is willing to pay, and which we are willing to accept. So I think it's unfair to compare 7 rupees. What is a better basis around 3.25 rupees, and which has been more or less consistent since the negotiation ended. And since last 2 years, we have been having the same, more or less the same rate.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, and all the best for the.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Soham Zaveri as an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, so I had a couple of questions. The first one is that over the past couple of years, we've noticed a decline in the market share and the currency derivatives segment. And before interoperability got implemented, the SE had a significant market share of almost 40 to 50%. So we ideally thought that the market share would have actually gone up post the implementation, but we've actually seen a decline ever since it has been implemented. So what could be the reason for this?
Yeah. So whenever there's a new addition or deletion in the system, you see the effect on the system. But if you look at the actual numbers, though our numbers are on the growth, our turnover definitely has average daily turnover has increased on the currency derivatives, and we have seen, as far as interoperability is concerned, you are right, it should have helped, but nevertheless, all the systems, the third-party vendors take some time to get their systems live and go live on the system. So there was initially teething issues, and over a period of time, it has been resolved, and now hope for the best.
Okay, and my second question is, this is actually regarding the CEO and the MD, that is there some sort of a non-compete or a cool-off period in the agreement, in the employment agreement between the exchange and the new CEO? There is no such thing in the agreement.
Yes. Your question is not relevant now because it is not relevant now.
And the fact is that there are certain. This is all. We follow Securities Exchange Clearing Corporation regulations to the T. And this is everything that has happened is in accordance with those regulations.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you. A reminder to our participants, please press star and 1 if you wish to ask a question. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be our last question for today. I'm sorry, we just have one question that has come up. It's from the line of Pankaj Rawal from Ace Plans Owns Investment. Please go ahead.
Hey, hi. So my question is, what will be the EBITDA or PAT margin you will be making of the Star MF revenue?
See, Star MF, we have told in earlier occasions also that in the Star MF means about 1/3 of the total revenue is profit at our end, is the net profit at our end.
Okay.
That is only an estimate because the operations are very intermingled and we don't have separate balance sheet for the same.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that would be our last question for today. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anand Sethuraman for closing comments. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Aman. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
if you have any questions, you can please email us, and then we will be happy to also engage with you on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of BSE Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect.